sports, and politics. Get ready to rumble! You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
The other dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Fantasy Sports and Politics. It's me, Mr. FSP, doing what I do because I do it for you all day, every day. And it's a Sunday. So it's a special edition only because I don't have anything to do this morning. And I would love to shift the show to Sundays. Clear up some things in my schedule. We'll see what happens. But with any rate, let me just tell you what I was last week. Yeah, I was 11-4-1. No one could have called the tie. No one, especially with Green Bay and the Cowboys. Uh-oh. I don't know if my daggone signal is that bad or it's that good. Hopefully you guys heard me. But with that being said, I did pretty well last week. Bounced back from my 10-6. Couldn't have called a tie. That should have been 12. Gonna be honest with you. I was on the fence about Washington, but that was a homer pick, even though I said it wasn't. They should have beat them though, right? Who had the Giants beating the Chargers? Not this guy. I would venture to say not a lot of you. And the other loss was Miami beating the Jets. Honestly, I didn't think they were going to play decent, much less play solid football versus that defense, and losing Tyreek Hill. That was something that was truly unexpected. Darren Waller's back, y'all. And just think, Waddle is the number one guy now for the rest of the season. And in my opinion, I think Miami cuts ties with Tyreek after this year, saving themselves some money and any other issues that goes on there. And Waddle becomes a number one receiver. That leaves you Washington and a few others that you don't really know about that Tua will throw to. This also tells me that Gooden or Gordon and a chain are going to work heavily in that run game. I really think so. Gordon might be the spot down guy, but as you can tell, he has power. So he might be their power back. Short yardage, vulturing touchdowns on the goal line, things of that nature. Just things to think about. With that being said, I want to begin this week by saying I already lost one game. Overtime. The San Francisco 49ers came out to play. They started off at a -3 dog, ended up being a -8 dog, but won the game in overtime. On two plays, I feel, two plays that McVay should have kicked for 3 and let his defense do the job. Just my thought. If McVay, even though it's what, a minute and some, or 2 minutes and some change left, and you have 2 timeouts, I go for the tie. The tie is better than the loss. and the fact that Mac Jones was severely hurt. His whole body looked like he was grabbing his calf, but then on the sideline, he was about to spit up. Now, I don't know if he's going to spit up blood or if we have some internal organ issues going on. But if I see that, I'm like, okay, I kicked the 3. They have to throw the ball unless they're going to go for the tie. And if they don't go for the tie and they run the ball, I stop CMC. Kendrick Bourne played out of his mind, right? Haven't seen Kendrick Bourne play like that in ever. Not forever, but in ever, right? So I go after, Mac Jones and put him out the game. Some people might call it a bounty gate. Some people might say, it's unfair. It's football, and you're paid millions and millions of dollars. And if you're going to put that guy on the field as a defensive player, I don't care what his injuries are. He's on the field, and he's the quarterback. I'm not going to let him sit back there and dissect me. I'm coming after him. You never know. You might get a turnover. You have 2 timeouts, so at least you can stop the clock twice, possibly force a punt. And let's say with like 10 seconds, right? Maybe even 6 seconds or whatever, you line up for a game-winning field goal. That's just my thought. Because with 2 minutes, I think it was like 2:38, 2 minutes 38 seconds left. That's at least 3 plays plus the punt, right? So, and you got 2 timeouts. So you stop after you stop them on the first down, right? So that's what? Maybe if they run 4 seconds, 5 seconds, you stop them again on second down. That's a total of 8 seconds. If they throw the ball, let's say you stop them again, but the play takes like 7 long time. If it's a completion, 7 to 10 seconds. That's maybe 15 seconds off the clock. Off of 2 minutes and 30-something seconds. You have Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, who went nuts. And you also have Devontae Adams. There's a couple miscommunications there, but still. And Kyrie Williams, even though he fumbled twice, or he fumbled once going into the end zone, and he got stopped on the 4th down. I take my chances there as a coach. And McVay is a very, very smart head coach, extremely smart head coach, right? He rolls the dice. He rolled it too many times, in my opinion, and he kept crapping out, right? That's just me. He's nowhere in danger of losing his job or anything like that. But that's a game the Rams should have won, and I could have started my week off 1-0. All right, let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. What do I think's going to happen in week 5? I'll hit my music. All right. This first game that's happening right now, Cleveland at Minnesota. On my paper, I picked Minnesota, so I'm going to stick with Minnesota. But Cleveland is literally looking like they're pretty daggone good with Gabriel under center, running plays they don't normally run. But let me put it this way. It's the defense. The defenses of both teams are going to carry them in this game. Cleveland already had one takeaway, setting up, Gabriel in offense in short yard situations within the red zone. Jenkins, my guys, I see why some people stashed him on their roster when he didn't even show up or sign his contract yet. He has not had a mini camp or preseason, so that's somewhat fresh legs, right? But he's running as if he has been in the NFL before. Oh my gosh, he ran over the strong safety, and I was like, whoa. That was an angry run, Kyle Brandt. Angry run. Jenkins. But I just don't think, after adjustments are made, Brian Flores is going to allow Dylan Gabriel and a bunch of no-names, because I'm going to tell you, Jerry Jeudy has been nowhere all season. Nowhere. But he's their number one receiver. I don't think Flores is going to allow that offense to do that. Conversely, Carson Wentz. I don't think you belong in the NFL anymore. I think you're there because you have a live arm and experience. I'm going to be honest with you. JJ, he should be getting 15 targets a game. Hawkinson, 7 targets a game. Addison, 7 targets a game. Right? And Mason is running the ball. Now they brought up Cam, and Cam threw a touchdown to Oliver. Got it. But that's not Carson Wentz. Okay. I don't know if he's better than J.J. McCarthy, but he's too flawed, man. Way too flawed. Even still, I'm going to stick with my original pick of Minnesota to win this game, because I just think they're a better overall team. I really do. And remember, this is bye week, guys. This is a bye week. So you're not going to have a full complement of 16 games, right? So let's go down. Next game on the list is a tough one for me. It wouldn't be tough if Lamar was playing, but he's not. Cooper Rush is. Roquan Smith is out, also on the defensive side of the ball. So the quarterbacks on both sides of the Ravens football are out, along with many, many other players. Right? Rest in peace to Arthur Smith, former Raven, brother of John Jones. Unexpected death a few days ago, right? But the Ravens are 1-3. The Texans are 1-3. I didn't expect either one to be 1-3. And I didn't expect one of them to be 1-4 after this game. I'll be honest with you. I don't like either team's makeup right now. I know or believe that the Ravens will run Derrick Henry like crazy in this game. Unless they get behind, of course. But the Texans have a solid defense. They really do. I don't know what's up with the offense. Woody. Hey, Joe Mixon, hurry up. Because Woody's young. And Woody's about to steal a job. Because he made magic with that piss poor offensive line. CJ Stroud getting hit like every 2 or 3 dropbacks. Nico Collins doing what he can. They signed Christian Kirk, but drafted Higgins. another big play guy, but can't get him the ball. But the remedy to that is play the Ravens defense. The Ravens secondary is doo-doo. I don't care about the Jahad Alexander. Not playing. I mean, he's been injured a lot, right? But even still, Humphreys is out. I love the King, but I got to get Houston to win. On the strength of their offense will operate smoother than the Ravens, because the Ravens defense is better right now than the Ravens offense under Cooper Rush. I'm going with Houston. Ravens 1-4. Can they come back and become 13-4 and win every last game? Unlikely, but if Lamar is healthy, possibility. The 1-3 Dolphins take on the 1-3 Panthers, right? It's a lot of 1-3s, guys. Look, the Panthers are down Rico Dowdle and Trevor Etienne at running back. Look, Canales has a problem. Just my opinion. I don't think that the young kid is the answer at quarterback for the Panthers. I don't. I think Canales tried to coach him up, tried to give him all the tools, but Leggett, maybe he's okay. Renfro, good possession guy, but should not be your number one. Your drafted receiver that's the downfield threat, you can't use him because your quarterback doesn't have a good enough efficiency rate throwing the ball downfield. He's a dink and dunker. And before you say anything about Miami, I had Miami losing every game except for like 3 or 4. I had them winning this game in the preseason. That was with Tyreek. Darren Waller emerges as a better threat. Waddle, as I said, is a number 1 receiver now. Devin Achane and Gordon should do well. I don't see the Panthers, even though they're at home, doing more work than the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins actually come out and dominate this game. It's left up to the attitude and the desire of the Dolphins defense. I'm not saying Tua. I'm not saying Waddle. I'm not saying anything. I'm saying that defense. If they get after Bryce Young, like they can, and like they did versus the Jets and Justin Fields, even though Fields late broke out and did some things, this is an easy one. Dolphins. Raiders at Colts. Rumor has it that Pete Carroll is ready to bench Geno if Geno doesn't calm down on the turnovers. Look, I don't bench Geno for O'Connell. No, I don't. You just paid Geno a lot of money. Genty, whether his stance changes, in the formation, standing straight up versus hunched over. I mean, the kid is short. You might want to review the defense, and that's how he does it. But he went off last week. I think 3 touchdowns. commitment to running the ball, even though you have a trash offensive line. Colts defense is not trash. It is not trash. So you're probably going to get an interception or two from Geno. But why even entertain the thought of benching him? Conversely, there is no talk of Anthony Richardson's health or even coming anywhere near the field behind Daniel Jones. Indiana Jones has him 3-1. Everybody's on all cylinders, playing well. How does that work for a team going against the Raiders? Looks out pretty daggone well. The Colts, offense, defense, even their special teams, they don't punt a lot, but all three phases are working well. They're at home. Raiders, I'm sorry, my guys. You're going to lose. I'm giving it to the Colts. Interesting game here. It's a lot of terrible matchups, but it is what it is. The Giants lose Malik Neighbors for the season. Jackson Dart comes in, flashes. They beat the Chargers. Who would have thought about that? Not I. Now they take on the 0-4 Saints. And I told you, I believe the Saints are going to have the number one pick this year. And it's not because they're tanking, it's because they absolutely suck. Taysom Hill might play this game, coming off of injured reserve. The Swiss Army knife is not enough. It's not. That offense is putrid. And if Rattler is their best quarterback and you spent capital to get this guy in the second round over Shador, yes, I'm going to bring it up. You shouldn't be 0-4, Kellen Moore. You're about to be 0-5. Yes, I said it. The Giants beat New Orleans. The Giants defense alone could win this game. Probably going to have to, because Jackson Dart is going to Darius Slay, Wendell Robinson, my boy Cam Scatterboos in the backfield. You might even see a mix of Singletary in here somewhere. Jalen Hyatt, remember him? Kid from University of Tennessee. I loved him. He might even get some love in this game. I just think the Saints have been beaten up so much. They're in close games, but they can't close them out. I think the Giants defense is just way too much for the Saints, and the Giants win. The 1-2-1 Cowboys take on the 0-4 Jets. I told you guys, they're on a lot of mega matchups here. Cowboys have all that offensive power. Put up 40 points against a team that has one of the best defenses, that also gave up 40 points and gives up nearly 300 yards per game. I'm not saying Justin Fields is going to get 300 yards passing. If he gets 300 yards passing, then you know the Cowboys secondary is garbage. Period. The Jets, look, I said they'd be a breakout team. I did. They are so close. I can taste it for them. And you know what? I think the Cowboys defense is so bad, no matter what Pickens, Ferguson, well, I also told you guys to pick up if you could. Pickens, Ferguson, Turpin. I think Turpin's out. Him or Austin is out, one of the two. It's not enough. Javonte Williams, They better ride that horse. Miles Sanders, injured again. Against that Jets defense. All Justin Fields has to do, hand the ball off to Breece Hall. Find Garrett. Find your tight end. Play old school football. You'll beat the Cowboys. I'm going to pick the Jets. 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 Moving along. Very good game here. There's a lot of rumblings, both in Denver and in Philadelphia. The rumbling in Philly is they're not throwing the ball. And A.J. Brown wearing a shirt, saying some things, but they're winning. They're winning. The game I told you that the Ravens, that the Eagles needed to throw the ball in was versus the Rams. Luckily, they won that game by a blocked field goal attempt. But what happened? Until they started throwing the ball in the third and fourth quarter, they were getting beat. They needed to throw the ball. They don't have to throw the ball in every game. As a receiver, former receiver, I get it. You want your touches. You want, your yards. As also a former quarterback, the less I have to use my arm and the more dominant my run game is, and we're winning, and our defense is solid, I don't care. Funny thing is, Saquon has been held to 60 yards, 60 scrimmage yards per game, and they're still winning? Y'all can miss me with all that noise. Denver. Sophomore slump or just bad luck? Look, Cortland Sutton got paid. He is their number one. He had the dropsies 2 weeks ago. This past week, he didn't have the dropsies. Bo Nix put the ball on him. Right? Harvey. Looking pretty good. Can he take over the job from JK? Not this year. I think they'll still split, but Harvey is going to be that back next year. If you got him, you might want to make him your keeper. Now, the defense. This is where the problem comes. Because I pegged them as the number one defense overall in fantasy and said I would pick them whenever I could. I got them. No, I didn't even get them because so many people grabbed them, right? There's some leaks. Patrick Surtain shuts people down. AJ, in other words, this is a game where the Broncos need to run the ball. Because I know you haven't heard Slim Reaper, Mr. Smith's name a lot, Dallas Goedert's name a lot. Jahad Dotson leads the team in receiving yards and receptions. That's your third receiver, former Commander. He leads them in receiving yards and I believe receptions. I get it. But Denver needs to run the rock, control the clock. Philly needs to throw the rock and make it a shootout. Denver, they're going to stop the run game. They are. It might be an adjustment by the second half, but they're going to stop that run game. Patrick Surtain and A.J. Brown, I'm going to love that matchup. I love it. But this is going to come down to whether Jalen Hurts completes the ball to his receiving core. Not just the receivers, but receiving core. Tight ends, wide receivers, running backs. Bo Nix is going to have minute windows to make this happen. I'm just telling you guys, it's not as easy of a game to call as I would like it to be, because I see a lot happening in this game, and I think it'll come down to a field goal, and I think Elliott kicks a game-winning field goal. So I got to give it to Philly. Next matchup. I'm actually going to be at this game, and I'm going to enjoy this game because I'm going to critique the hell out of Cam Ward. Cam Ward already showed a chink in his armor yet again when he called his own team ass. He's a quarterback, and I get it. You might feel that way. A lot of quarterbacks in the NFL might feel that way, but you don't tell the public. The Cardinals are 2-2. The Titans are 0-4. Look, I already told you, Kyler is probably getting shot. There are a lot of people that need him right now. They lost Connor. Benson is gone on IR now. So now you got DeMarcus as your starting running back. I actually like DeMarcus. I actually like him. Shifty, attacks the hole very well. I don't know, so Marvin and Kyler, but that needs to be fixed, right? Height. Calvin Ridley is being dropped in fantasy leagues. The number one receiver for the Tennessee Titans, I saw, at least in some of the leagues I'm in, on the waiver wire in like 3 of the 12, 13 leagues I'm in. Yeah, I said it. I'm in 12, 13 leagues. That's average for me. Why is he on there? Cam can't get him the ball. Or there's some drops. Cam does not put touch on the ball. I said this many, many times. He's a slinger. Pop, pop, pop. I'm not saying all of his passes are terrible. Some of them should be good. I'm not going to say the guy is a terrible quarterback. I'm just saying maybe his approach to these guys needs to change. Maybe they don't care about winning and losing because they're getting paid. And if the quarterback is dogging them out in practice, when and if a good play happens, and the best defensive player on your team, a captain, attacks him in the preseason for his behaviors, that's a lot of dysfunction. And your head coach twice in the preseason says, well, you know, he's chirping, he's doing this, and it's amazing that he can get the same play call while he's talking trash to the defense and the play. That is not good. The Cardinals are all around better than Tennessee. Go with the Cards. Bird Nation. Red Sea, rise up. Okay, now we get to some good games. We got the 3-1 Buccaneers versus the 3-1 Seahawks. Look, Chris Godwin came back. Game 1. Thankfully, Baker has that number 1 guy now because Godwin is a legit number 1. But with Mike Evans on the field, he's a 1B. Mike Evans isn't on the field for at least another 2 games, I think. So, with that being said, Bucky Irving is out. Rashad White is the starting running back again. It's not like he's new. I believe Worth comes back. Good thing because Seattle secondary does not play. They are some rough dudes. Godwin and Shepard and whoever else they throw out there. Oh, Ibuka. This is going to be some good defensive secondary versus good offensive receiving firepower, and the run game is going to be the difference. I don't believe in Walker. I don't believe in Walker. I believe in White, especially if Tristan Wirth is back. Sam might see Ghost again. Maybe Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore, Whoopi Goldberg. If you didn't get that joke, you're too young. Go look at the movie Ghost. But with that being said, it's in Seattle. It's what, October 5th? Weather shouldn't be too bad, too crazy. So I think Tampa's gonna win this game. Yeah. I got the Bucks. I got the Bucks winning this game. I think Sam Darnold is gonna revert back. I do. Anytime you have Cooper Kupp on your team and he's averaging only like 5 targets a game, I get it. Jackson Smith and Jigba is the number one. But Cooper Kupp is a dog you need to feed. You need to feed them. And they're not. So much so to the point where I dropped Cooper Kupp in several leagues. This is me. Detroit and Cincinnati. Surprisingly, the Bengals are 2-2. It won't last. I think the spread on this one is 10.5 points for Detroit. I'm laying that. I'm laying that 10.5. Gibbs, St. Brown, Williams, Laporta, Montgomery. The Bengals can't stop anybody. You think they're going to stop Detroit? Conversely, you are starting to see the frustration from Jamar Chase on the sidelines and on the field because Browning isn't doing what he needs to do. Chris Brown, and I told you guys, Chris Brown was fool's gold. You want to draft him in the first round of your fantasy league? You want to draft him in the second round? No. Chris Brown, he needs to be singing on stage, not playing football. Two different Chris Brown, but you get what I'm saying? T. Higgins, he's getting targets. It's good the ball's getting spread, but Browning throws an interception every game. He was averaging 2 a game until last week. Ain't no way. What did it say? Ain't no way. Ain't no way. If Cincinnati wins this game, I'll stop doing predictions. Yes. If the Bengals win this game, I'll stop doing predictions. I'll bring Mr. Taylor back on the show, and I will let him run my show. Definitely not going to happen. That's how confident I am that the Bengals are going to lose this game. Now, so that means I'm picking Detroit. Now I got a problem. I absolutely love my team, the Commanders. If you can't tell, I got pops. I got pops on my shirt. Boondocks time, right? But we're hurting. No Terry. Our running game is up and down. Our defense looked like garbage last week. I'm not going to put it on Mariota. I said Atlanta was a damn good team. And I have them winning the South. JD is a difference maker. Bill can benefit from JD. Rodriguez can benefit from JD. Ertz benefits. Debo is going to benefit, continue to benefit, I should say. Luke McCaffrey. He's doing what I told everybody he would do and should do, which is step up and be that guy. He has a touchdown in the last 2 games. I think he's averaging like 40, 50 yards. Plus, he's been igniting the kick return game along with Jeremy Lane. Hold up. The Chargers have now lost Alt and their other tackles. Both left tackles are gone. So your starting left tackle and your starting right tackle, who got shifted to left tackle, are out. The Giants blitzed that ass hard. Dart was mobile. Amari Hampton did his thing. Quentin Johnston, he's learning how to catch. I don't know. He has. Lad McConkey has not been that big of an issue, but Keenan McCardle still is. Not Keenan McCardle. Oh my gosh. Keenan Allen still is. And that's the problem. That's the problem. Washington secondary, the way they play, not their talent, but the way they play, they're prone to giving up big plays. And that's my problem here. Even though the Chargers defense let or allowed Jackson Dart to run over them and do his thing as a rookie quarterback, Scatterboo had, 20-something touches? Lost Malik Neighbors early, so other people had to get the ball. My heart says Washington. My mind's telling me no. But my pen is telling me yes. My pen's telling me to write down the Chargers. Washington covers. I think it's like 3 points. Oh, the inner turmoil happening within me right now is insane. It is insane. I gotta go. And it's in LA where the Chargers don't play that well. The Washington fans don't travel that well either. I'm gonna go with Washington. All right, I'm gonna write it down. All right, look, if Washington loses, I'm gonna need some grace. Okay, I'm gonna need some grace. They're 2-2. You know, Chargers 3-1. But they let the Giants beat them. But Washington has to attack. They have to attack. They cannot play a cover 3 unless it's a zone blitzing cover 3. They can't play cover 2 unless it's a zone blitzing cover 2. Man, maybe. But they got to attack. Great game here. 2-2 Patriots take on the Buffalo Bills, who are 4-0. Look, stats don't lie. I know the Bills have been running Cook with great success. I know it. Wonderful, right? Number 1 running back in fantasy. Josh Allen, number 1 quarterback in fantasy. And he hasn't thrown the ball that much. The Patriots have a stingy defense when it comes to turnovers. They give up over 300 yards in the passing game. Look, I said the Patriots would have a wonderful defense. I said the Patriots will make the playoffs. Offensively, Drake May is showing you why he was a top pick. He's finally feeding Stephon Diggs, right? They're using him as a running or mobile quarterback. Henderson's not in the game as much, but he's creeping in there. I actually saw this morning that the starting running back has been dropped, at least in one of my leagues. I'm not going to say which league it is, but I was thinking about getting him. Henderson might get in there, but he's not taking over the job just yet, right? So that running attack is potent. Big playability is potent. The problem I have here is the Patriots give up the yards. They give up yards through the air. And Josh, I have him throwing for over 300 in this game. I'm gonna do a daily fantasy, same game parlay with Josh going over 300 yards passing. I am. And I think Gonzalez is one of the top tier corners in the NFL. They are built to stop the run. Apparently not the pass. So I don't expect much from Cook. But he can be used in the passing game as well. I got to go with Buffalo. All right. Your Monday night game. Ooh. Do not let what the Chiefs did last week to the Ravens fool you. The Ravens defense is doo-doo. Xavier Worthy came back, but he was not that big of an impact. He had impact, but not that big of an impact. It was Pacheco, Kelsey, Hollywood. Worthy had big plays. But because the Chiefs rushed 4, dropped 7, Lamar literally didn't have anywhere to go with the ball. Literally. They don't have passing concepts that I guess are zone beaters that Lamar's comfortable with. Because it showed. He got sacked 7 or 8 times on a 4-man rush. Ends up tweaking his hamstrings, out for a couple weeks. I've drafted Lamar in like almost every league I'm in. Literally. So that's hurting me. But now, you're going against Jacksonville, where Sunshine has been sacked once every 49 dropbacks. He's not throwing the ball 49 times a game, but once every 49 dropbacks, he's sacked. Travis Etienne said, "Oh, y'all don't want to pay me? This is my contract year? Not a problem. Let me show off." And what did they do? They traded Tank Dell to the Eagles, and then Tank Bigsby. They traded Tank Bigsby to the Eagles. Tank Bigsby then got hurt and was put on IR with Philly. Travis Hunter, 4 interceptions. I don't think he has any receiving touchdowns. I think he has one, like a reverse touchdown or something like that. Maybe. On the offensive side of the ball. This game, he needs to stay on the defensive side of the ball. Lock down Xavier. You ain't got the speed of Xavier, but he can lock him down. He can get physical with Xavier Worthy. Jacksonville's defense, is a lot better this year than it has been in the past years. I honestly think Aluakon and the rest of them guys are going to work over Pat and them. Another thing is Trevor Lawrence's birthday. Trevor Lawrence, when playing on his birthday, has never, ever lost. I truly believe that the Jacksonville Jaguars can pull the upset over Pat and company. It's in Duval, not in KC. It's upset. I'm gonna go with Jacksonville. And because I'm going with Jacksonville, I used to say that the South is trash. That would put the Colts at 4-1, Jacksonville 4-1, Houston at 2-3, and 0-5 Titans, if I'm correct. And I already lost to the Rams. Now, I'm already lost to the Rams. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. There are 14 games. As we have not the Ravens, as we have the Falcons. Who else is on bye? We got the Falcons. Geez. Who else? I can't remember right now. I know the Falcons are on bye week. I know they're on bye week. My bad. Duh. The Falcons, Green Bay, Chicago, Pittsburgh. The 4 teams on bye. Adjust your rosters accordingly. A lot of folks lost Bijan. I did. A lot of folks lost London, Penix, Caleb, Adunzie, Josh Jacobs, Jordan Love. Come on, man. DK had his best game of the year. Right? Question. Is Gainwell going to take Warren's job? Gainwell was more effective last week in Warren's absence. Now, Pitt has said they're going to keep the split. And plus, they got the young rookie. Is it time to trade Warren? Might be. Might just be. We'll see. With that being said, the UFC fights last night, loved it. Loved it. Alex Pereira, under a minute, destroys the champion and retains his title. Literally under a minute. Bell rings, he goes over there, whoops the hell out of him. Magomedov, he didn't know what hit him. Literally, he didn't know what hit him. I'm telling you guys, woo! It was sweet. It was so sweet. All right, I'm going to give you some locks. Play them if you want. If you don't, it's okay. The Cardinals, the Lions. I'm going to write down some locks. Cards, money line here. Lions. Giants. I would say the Colts, but I'm not. Buffalo. My 14 lock. Cardinals, Lions, Giants, and Buffalo. Let's see if I'm right about that. I don't know. We'll find out. But I want to thank you all for tuning in and hanging out with me, right? It's been fabulous. I appreciate you guys. With that being said, let's see if I can go 11 wins again. Let's see if I can go 11 wins again. Right? I appreciate you. I want you all back here next week. And I'll see you when I see you. Peace.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Get ready to rumble! You wanna talk smack? You in the right place. So take a step back before I get all up in your
Remember, because I don't remember. I remember every bit of this.
You're the dudes holding on the phone line. Your voice will be heard, sir.
Next caller, please.
Jerry's gonna get him.
Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics. Fantasy, sports, and politics.
Listeners are asking questions about this week's games, not Jerry's personal beef. So what's your thought?